but she has no experience in taking care of others. However, she is willing to give it a try. Seeing that junior brother did not respond, Aurelia Luo turned her head to look. At this time, Blue Autumn Yun had already closed her eyes and fallen asleep. Aurelia Luo looked at the young man beside her. I took junior brother's words seriously. From now on, you are the only one in my heart. She looked around, and no one was there. She gently kissed junior brother's cheek. Women of the Luotian race are not easy to flirt with. As the patriarch gradually recovers, the Luo's Merchant Association has also resumed normal operations. As for those groups that besieged Luo's Merchant Association, they have all been taken care of. They have experienced what it feels like to go bankrupt. Outside Liling City, Blue Autumn Yun and others are packing their belongings next to the Long Bird. Patriarch Luo is instructing and advising Aurelia Luo on various matters. The patriarch repeatedly advised her not to miss out on this young man. Aurelia Luo lowered her voice and asked him to speak more softly. He had already repeated this sentence dozens of times since waking up in the morning. The patriarch looked serious. You know what you know, yet you still don't take action. This person will definitely become someone important. Following him will surely be to your advantage. Aurelia Luo blushed naturally. It's only natural that someone caught Aurelia's I wouldn't be lacking. Patriarch suddenly paused. Mrs. Joyful and playful attitude, as well as these words, could it be? Aurelia Luo quietly glanced at Blue Autumn Yun, who was playing with Long Bird behind her. With such a talented person, how could Aurelia let it go? Then she looked up again. She told her grandfather that she had fallen in love with junior brother. At this moment, Long Bird spread its wings and was preparing to fly. Lin Luo turned his head specially to remind. Miss President is about to set off. After Patriarch learned of Mrs. intentions, he immediately wanted to go and have a good talk with Blue Autumn Yun. Aurelia Luo hurriedly stopped him and told him that she could handle this matter herself. Patriarch smiled and, before leaving, reminded him to take good care of Aurelia. Aurelia Luo rolled her eyes. Patriarch then pretended to cough as if nothing had happened. The moment when the bird flew into the sky, Blue Autumn Yun finally breathed a sigh of relief, finally left. He has been staying at Luo's Merchant Association for these few days. The patriarch always seems to coincidentally run into Blue Autumn Yun, whether intentional or not. In addition to thanking for the treasures received, the patriarch shifts all the conversation topics to Aurelia Luo. Although he also wanted to tell the patriarch straightforwardly to put his mind at ease. But he broke the Luotian curse and planted the spiritual sigil. He really couldn't bring himself to speak about it. Several hours later, the Long Bird broke through the clouds with a cry. It carried everyone back to the primordial Immortal Mountain. At this time, Elegant Ling is sweeping the courtyard of Verdant Mist Peak. She looked up when she heard the noise. She saw that Blue Autumn Yun and others had returned. She was even more delighted and ran over to give Blue Autumn a big bear hug. She didn't know why. Just 10 short days apart felt as long as half a year. Ariel Mu also happily came over to say hello. At this moment, Elegant Ling's cheeks were slightly blushing, with a hint of a faint breathlessness. Blue Autumn Yun was not sure if it was just his imagination. He always felt that there was a hint of desire in Little Elegant's eyes. Little Elegant immediately went to cook after feeling something was wrong. After a while, Blue Autumn Yun also followed and arrived in the kitchen. He just lifted the curtain and walked in. He then saw Little Elegant chopping vegetables. Asked how his days in Liling City have been. Blue Autumn Yun was also helping on the side. Tell her that Liling City is very bustling. When she's free, we should take her there to have a good stroll. Little Elegant suddenly changed the subject. I see you're acting a bit strange today. Blue Autumn Yun looked at her puzzled, wondering what was strange about her. Elegant Ling playfully pointed to her own cheek. How cute and strange you are. The sudden romantic words caught him off guard. It was like a direct hit that left him speechless. After he realized what had happened, he went over and patted Little Elegant on the head. Oh, you still know how to flirt. Little Elegant shyly shrunk her neck a little. I missed you quite a bit after not seeing you for 10 days. Blue Autumn Yun suddenly blushed. She actually flirted with me. But then, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his heart. Then he felt the spiritual energy within his body flowing rapidly away. After Elegant Ling felt completely comfortable all over her body, she couldn't help but approach and directly slam him against the wall. Heavenly Spirit Body is indeed a super rare constitution. The juicing level far exceeds that of the first senior sister, making Blue Autumn Yun shiver in just a moment. Inwardly, he is desperately begging for this little girl to suck a little less. Half an hour later, Elegant Ling walked out of the kitchen with a satisfied heart and full of energy, holding a plate. Only Blue Autumn Yun was left there panting. She thought she could avoid the pressure by staying at a distance. Unexpectedly, she was squeezed dry as soon as she returned. Several people arrived at the living room, and Little Elegant was the first to speak. Senior Sister Lu asked, "Has Blue Autumn, that big fool, caused any trouble for you?" Aurelia Luo smiled and said, "Junior brother is so outstanding, how could he cause trouble? He even helped us a lot." Little Elegant was very puzzled about how he could be of great help. After all, in his understanding, Blue Autumn Yun is someone special. He is such a big fool that he can't even wash his own clothes. Aurelia Luo quickly took out a package, saying that this is a gift she brought for Junior Sister from Luling City. Little Elegant was delighted to see the gift. But Aurelia Luo felt apologetic in her heart. Junior Sister and Junior Brother were childhood sweethearts. But she suddenly developed feelings for Junior Brother, which made her feel like she was taking something that belonged to someone else. "Do you want to start a harem?" Then Aurelia forced a wry smile once more. It seems that Little Elegant does not object to herself. Isn't she supposed to be in seclusion? Aurelia fell silent for a moment, and then gave a cold smile. I didn't expect Senior Brother to be so capable. He even managed to charm Moonhan. And they have been meeting in the little forest every day. Elegant Ling nodded silently. Senior Sister is right. He has been living a single life all the time. And this lifetime, he has just been reborn. He now has 2 partners, who are as beautiful as flowers. Above the primordial Immortal Mountain, there is a first cloud pavilion, where clouds linger, and a gentle breeze blows. It is most suitable for preaching and discussing cultivation, and therefore designated as a teaching venue. At this moment, disciples keep coming. The hundreds of empty seats are gradually being filled. The newly admitted young disciples are quite excited. Today's teaching is about a powerful spirit technique. If mastered, it can greatly enhance combat abilities, an important assurance for showing off and impressing others. There is still some time before class starts. A new disciple, Gu Zhou, takes out a scroll and calls everyone over, saying he has something interesting to show them. Several new disciples are quite curious and gather around to see what mysterious thing it is. Gu Zhou immediately spread out the scroll. This thing is much more interesting than novels. This is the ranking of beautiful women within the cultivation sect. I finally borrowed it from Senior Brother with great difficulty. Several people's eyes lit up as they quickly scanned the first scroll. Unfortunately, there are no photos here, only descriptions. The crowd immediately suspected whether there was any truth to it. Gu Zhou disdainfully refuted the joke. Joke, Moon Han's first place is well deserved. Not only is he outstanding in appearance, but his cultivation level is also profound. It is said that he achieved core formation stage in just 2 years after starting cultivation. The cultivation level is profound, and the aptitude is outstanding. His appearance will also become better and better. It is certain that he will definitely become famous in the blue vast domain within 10 years. The newcomer on the side also chimed in. He had also heard a certain Senior Brother mention it before. He had seen Moon Han's appearance a while ago, and couldn't fall asleep all night. Gu Zhou sighed softly. Ah, there's nothing we can do. We couldn't collect sect masters to wreck disciples' roster. I heard that Moon Han, the Immortal Maiden, has been going out quite frequently lately. Just wait and see. He then continued reading. The second name is Aurelia Luo from Verdant Mist Peak, Xuanji Elder's eldest disciple. She is a mature and tall beauty with exceptional looks. Particularly, her pair of slender legs are simply mesmerizing. In terms of appearance and figure, she is even slightly better than Moon Han, but her flat chest resulted in a lower score. Everyone sighed in disappointment, as it was a half-body photo, and couldn't see her legs. It's a pity not being able to appreciate her fully at the moment. The third new entry, Disciple Elegant Ling, is said to have talents no less than Moon Han and possesses an otherworldly temperament like a lotus flower. She just joined but already entered the top 3 directly. Elegant Ling had previously taken Blue Autumn Yun to the square for cultivation. Immediately someone echoed. It was the girl with dual spiritual roots, who was very beautiful and had long hair. Unfortunately, it seems she has a childhood sweetheart with a disabled spiritual root. She even went to the scarcely populated Verdant Mist Peak for him. The next one, Ariel Mu from Verdant Mist Peak, has a pure and cute, silly and adorable appearance, soft and charming, very attractive. You all should have seen her when she entered the sect. As for her strengths, there's no need to say much, right? Several people gathered around, looking at the photo. Their gaze all stopped at the stretched-out clothes. They gasped in unison and said, "The world in her cleavage," expressing the same sentiment. Just as he was about to speak of the 5th person, he was suddenly interrupted by a disciple. He said, "Have you guys noticed? It seems like there are only 3 female disciples from Verdant Mist Peak. They all made it to the leaderboard." The quality of beauties from Verdant Mist Peak is exceptional. I also want to join Verdant Mist Peak. Blue Autumn Yun is indeed clever, I admire her. Gu Zhou immediately put away the scroll. He said indifferently, "What is there to envy about Blue Autumn Yun? Xuanji is just a hangout elder who completely spoils their disciples, providing no guidance or care. What gains can be made there? Immortal cultivation ultimately depends on strength. Especially we male cultivators should work hard and strive to cultivate diligently." But Blue Autumn Yun is very powerful. He even defeated the 2nd elder's last disciple, senior brother Xiao Su. He mentioned that Gu Zhou is gradually becoming gloomy. The wind element spiritual root is powerful in the early stages. Moreover, senior brother Su is also not showing any mercy towards him. If you don't believe me, just wait a few more years and you'll see. Once the advantage of Blue Autumn Yun's spiritual root fades, they will basically rank at the bottom. So, fellow cultivators, cultivating is the right path. When we become high-level Golden Core cultivators, we won't worry about finding a beautiful cultivating couple. Let the beautiful women on the rankings be our goal to strive for. Several new disciples nodded in agreement. Just at that moment, a young man quietly approached them. "Is there a spot available here?" he asked. "Yes, brother, you can come over here," they replied. Gu Zhou looked up and found the young man quite familiar. Suddenly, he remembered something. Blue Autumn Yun. Blue Autumn Yun nodded. "You know me." Gu Zhou turned around, waved his hand in a dismissive manner. "Don't know you, no seats available, please move to the back." The man had just joined the sect when he was invited by the cultivation sect's #1 beauty to a small grove. The 2nd and 3rd beauties both became his wives one after another. This inevitably made the cultivation sect disciples jealous one after another. Gu Zhou has always had a contentious relationship with Verdant Mist Peak as a disciple of the 2nd elder. Senior brother Xiao Su, who is responsible for cultivating him, will certainly not show Blue Autumn Yun any favor. Others, on the other hand, act out of jealousy, not allowing him to sit in the better seats in the front. No harm in not learning. This kind of course is of no use to him. If not for accumulating credits, it's fine not to attend. Soon he skipped over a few people and arrived at the back. Some disciples couldn't help but mock and laugh. "Haha, look, that guy really sat at the very back." Gu Zhou also chuckled. "He only deserves to sit there. Come on, let's continue." Just as a few people were about to continue watching the beauty ranking list, a disciple suddenly pointed ahead and said, Hey, quick, look, that tall and beautiful woman is Aurelia Luo, right? Everyone's attention was immediately drawn over. Huh? Isn't it only new disciples who can study? Senior Sister Luo, why is she? Wait, isn't the innocent girl next to her Ariel Mu? There's also Elegant Ling. I heard she took leave when she was trying to break through the foundation stage and hasn't been coming to class. Now she's here. Could it be she made a breakthrough? Several people looked at each other in disbelief. 3 of the top 4 beauties suddenly appeared at once on the leaderboard. A disciple swallowed a mouthful of saliva. It was indeed a coincidence. I wonder if Moon Han, the first on the leaderboard, will show up. The appearance of the 3 young ladies at Verdant Mist Peak immediately attracted countless attention, while the 3 of them were simultaneously searching for the figure of Blue Autumn Yun. Aurelia Luo couldn't help but be curious why he was sitting so far back. And after Elegant Ling caught sight of him, she couldn't help but raise her arm and give a middle finger gesture towards Blue Autumn Yun, who was looking in this direction. Senior Sister, do you still need to think about it? That big fool must be slacking off again. Just his little tricks. And Blue Autumn Yun, upon seeing their figures, smiled faintly. She extended her hand to make a finger heart gesture. Elegant Ling and Aurelia Luo blushed at the same time. This guy actually made this gesture in front of so many fellow disciples. However, the 2 were too shy to respond back. Ariel Mu looked around, feeling embarrassed as she was stared at by a group of people. The back is also quite good. There are too many people. Let's hurry over there. Looking at the trio of women, they are about to walk over. Gu Zhou immediately summoned up the courage to stand up. He smiled at the group of people and said, "Are you Immortal Maidens here to attend the lecture? There are a few empty seats here. If you don't mind, please come and sit down." Aurelia Luo ignored the group of people as it was obvious they were trying to strike up a conversation. She didn't want to talk to other male cultivators in front of Blue Autumn Yun and make him feel uncomfortable. Elegant Ling grabbed Aurelia Luo's arm. "Senior Sister, the seats here are indeed quite good. The view is also clearer. It seems crowded behind us, and we may not find a seat." Gu Zhou is so happy that he can't stop smiling. He immediately took action to help wipe the tables and chairs. Yes, the seats here are excellent. We can see clearly the steward's teaching movements." Aurelia Luo hesitated, considering that Little Elegant's words are also reasonable. Seeing Aurelia Luo hesitating, Gu Zhou and the other disciples were so happy that they were about to explode. They all pitched in to tidy up. The space here is big enough to invite them to sit down. After tidying up, a few people dispersed and took their seats. There were 2 empty seats between them, and the seats of Elegant Ling and the other 2 women. They intentionally kept their distance to show respect for the 3 beautiful women. They didn't have time to be happy for long. Elegant Ling waved to Blue Autumn Yun, asking her to come over and sit beside them. Blue Autumn Yun stood up and walked over. He looked at Gu Zhou and the others, who looked as if they had turned into stone, feeling quite puzzled. Weren't they just standing up a moment ago? In the envious and jealous gazes of the onlookers, Blue Autumn Yun walked towards the 3 girls. Blue Autumn Yun deliberately turned his head and said to them, "Oh, the seats here are really good indeed. No obstructed views, and the table is very clean." Gu Zhou was suddenly infuriated by this. This man has too many admirers, causing his fellow disciples to reject him one after another. These women, however, are determined to support Blue Autumn Yun. In the eyes of everyone going crazy, Blue Autumn Yun plopped down between 3 girls. On his left side was a fair and beautiful childhood friend. On his right side is a long-legged mature woman who outshines the crowd. Behind him is the world in her cleavage, Little Senior Sister. A few people are very intimate and not tired of each other. Looking at them like this, Gu Zhou and others were heartbroken. The lovelorn aura and AI's sorrowful voice spread. The entire first cloud pavilion was filled with a bitter atmosphere. Just then, a young man in a Taoist robe walked up to the platform. He glanced at the crowd and nodded in satisfaction. The newcomers were very excited. It seems that everyone is prepared for learning. Most of the beginner disciples learn low-level spirit techniques that come with the cultivation method of the cultivation sect. However, in order to motivate them to cultivate, there should be a skill that they can use at critical moments. The elders then decided to pass on the most cost-effective technique from the second-rank spirit technique. Cultivation sect steward Tao Yu is a disciple who stayed in the cultivation sect after completing their cultivation studies to become a steward, responsible for teaching in place of the elders when they are unavailable. He picked up his arm and demonstrated the technique of this spirit technique. Flames intertwined between his arms, making a rustling sound against his sleeves. Blue Autumn Yun boredly propped up his chin. This person appeared to have mastered it skillfully, but actually only had a superficial understanding of it. I estimate that the other elders have not seen through this spirit technique that seems simple, but actually conceals vastness beyond. The performance in front of him was truly an eyesore, and he didn't want to watch anymore. Just as he was about to pull out the yellow leather novel from his sleeve to read, his arm suddenly felt a slight itch. He looked to his right, and saw Aurelia Luo lying on the table, her fingers occasionally poking his arm playfully. What is Junior Brother up to? Blue Autumn Yun lowered her head and whispered behind her sleeve. The person's words are boring, and I've already learned what he taught. I'm just idle right now. Shall I chat with Junior Brother instead? Her bright big eyes blinked at Blue Autumn Yun. Although she is a Yuejia character, her cuteness at this moment is no less than that of other girls. Blue Autumn Yun nodded and engaged in casual small talk with her. However, as they chatted, his gaze uncontrollably shifted to her beautiful legs. Aurelia Luo raised an eyebrow. However, one slender leg suddenly lifted and rested on the other thigh. The hem of the skirt slid down, revealing the entire long leg in Blue Autumn Yun's sight. It became even more clear. It could be said to be true. Legs for days! In every sense of the word. Blue Autumn Yun couldn't help but think to herself. She knew that she was looking at the legs, but she intentionally lifted them up. Could it be that she is teasing me? However, in the face of the teasing by his future wife, Blue Autumn Yun remained unfazed. He felt shy at this moment, wondering how they would face each other on the bed in the future. Blue Autumn Yun ignored Aurelia Luo's reproachful gaze. He touched his chin and said, "It would be nice if I had a lace garter. Senior sister has long, slim, and fair legs. Adding a garter as decoration would be so tempting. White would be more suitable than black, and even more tempting. Is it appropriate to be so blunt as to give Blue Autumn Yun the cold shoulder like that?" Even though she looked shy and didn't agree verbally, she's already considering whether she should give it a try in her heart. Aurelia Luo's eyes shifted slightly. She beckoned Blue Autumn Yun with a wave of her hand. Junior Brother leaned in and whispered something to you. Blue Autumn Yun curiously leaned to the right, only to hear Aurelia Luo whisper softly, "I want to be with you day and night, yeah." When this was said, Blue Autumn Yun's face immediately turned red. This kind of breath, with a strong seductive voice. The whispering in his ear intensified the lethality. It's a scenario only seen in cultivating couple during dual cultivation. Blue Autumn Yun quickly left with her back straight. Damn it, she whispered such seductive words in my ear that I couldn't handle it. He felt that his spiritual energy was being absorbed again. He saw Blue Autumn Yun looking shy. Aurelia Luo covered her mouth and giggled. It seems like she was saying, "How was that? Provoking me? Do you realize how tough I am?" Blue Autumn Yun turned her head away, temporarily unable to look at Aurelia Luo. Elegant Ling on the left let out a sigh. She stretched her arms and waist lazily. So that's how it's done. Her gaze suddenly fell on Blue Autumn Yun. What happened? Blue Autumn Yun smiled and said, "It's nothing. I just came to see you." Elegant Ling was suddenly puzzled. "See me? What's there to see?" Blue Autumn Yun smiled faintly. "You look beautiful no matter where you are." Elegant Ling shyly patted Blue Autumn Yun's thigh. Accidentally, she felt something. Elegant Ling quickly withdrew her hand, her face blushing. Even her ears turned red. This guy actually reacted to her. Blue Autumn Yun went crazy immediately. Sister, your damn timing for slipping your hand is truly impeccable. Elegant Ling blushed, but she was extremely happy in her heart. Having a reaction indicates desire. It's great that this guy has thoughts about me. Blue Autumn Yun feels the spiritual energy flowing away once again. Absorbing from both sides at the same time is too intense. He quickly focuses his mind and silently absorbs the spiritual energy to prevent being squeezed to the point of not being able to move. Ariel Mu has already listened to the explanation of this spirit technique for the 4th time. Surprisingly, she still doesn't understand it at all. She suddenly feels out of place compared to the others who were playing around earlier. Ariel Mu reached out and held Blue Autumn Yun's shoulder, gently massaging it. She felt that among the group, Blue Autumn Yun had the highest talent. He always gave her a sense of hiding his true abilities. His strength should be more than what he displayed. In any case, she chose to please. Perhaps she could learn to refine potions by consulting with Spirit Technique Potion Refining in private. Blue Autumn quite enjoyed it, and felt extremely relaxed inside. Originally, she thought that starting Immortal Cultivation all over again would be very boring. But the situation turned out to be completely different from what she imagined. 2 beautiful women were surrounding her, and someone was giving her a nice shoulder massage from behind. It turned out that Immortal Cultivation could be so joyful. How come she didn't realize this before? It's too comfortable. In the next life, she will continue Immortal Cultivation. However, while feeling comfortable, his eyelids suddenly twitched. It seems like some disaster is about to happen. He closed his eyes and leaned comfortably against the table. Tao Yu passionately lectured. The disciples suffered on the side while eating dog food, watching him having fun with 2 beautiful girls on either side. There's even someone massaging him from behind. What kind of treatment is this? Even immortals may not receive such treatment. How did he manage to raise his favorability level like this just a few days after joining? How did he do it? Gu Zhou is also feeling sour. Damn it, the top few beauties on the list are actually trying to please him. What kind of magic does this guy have? Just as the words fell, a stunning female cultivator who can control a flying sword arrived gracefully. The flying sword under her feet slowly shrank and transformed into an earring, returning to her ear. Moon Han gently flicked his hair and walked towards a seat. This man alone dominates the ranking. 3 out of the 4 beauties. Even the number 1 beauty has taken the initiative to come over now. Moon Han's sudden appearance surprised everyone. Even the lecturer Tao Yu was taken aback. After all, even he rarely saw this immortal maiden, and now she appeared here. Could it be that she has come to observe his work? Suddenly filled with motivation, the spiritual energy in his hands burned even brighter. The surrounding disciples couldn't help but see her as if she were an immortal maiden. They couldn't help but praise how beautiful she was. Such temperament truly lives up to the title of being ranked first on the list. Different from several other beauties, Moon Han appears very rarely. Her portrait is not even on the list. Everyone wishes they could imprint her face in their minds. Eyes almost glued to it. Yet amid the intense gaze of the crowd, Moon Han sat in front of Blue Autumn Yun. The crowd was instantly filled with resentment. Damn, why is Moon Han Immortal Maiden also sitting next to that guy? In front, behind, left, and right, the 4 most beautiful women from the cultivation sect are all here, damn it. This has shattered the hearts of the crowd with envy, jealousy, and hatred. However, at this moment, Blue Autumn Yun was nervous and jittery. He felt the gradually rising scorching killing intent on both sides. Moon Han turned around and nodded slightly at Blue Autumn Yun. It's nice to see you again during this time of cultivation. Elegant Ling also forced a smile. Blue Autumn, she's looking for you again. Aurelia Luo also smiled brightly. Junior brother seems to be popular with the ladies. Even she can come here to accompany you. Are we a bit unnecessary? Blue Autumn Yun was surprised and quickly patted Moon Han's shoulder. Moon Han, senior sister, you are a good person. Moon Han looked puzzled. Everyone saw Blue Autumn Yun handing out good person cards. Elegant Ling and Aurelia Luo only breathed a sigh of relief. However, they also need to do something. Elegant Ling fed Blue Autumn some orange slices with a smiling and affectionate look. Aurelia Luo fed junior brother some fruit pulp with a small spoon, and this also tasted very delicious. Feeding each other by taking turns, the two girls looked like they were announcing ownership of this man to Moon Han. In no time, Blue Autumn Yun's mouth was filled with food. Her cheeks bulged and she couldn't swallow. But the two girls still continued feeding her. Moon Han looked at the two people in surprise. After hesitating for a moment, he took out a box of cookies from the storage ring. She picked up a small bear-shaped cookie and offered it with a sincere look on her face. You're still causing trouble at a time like this. Blue Autumn Yun sprayed food directly. Lowering her head, she coughed and sprayed the food out. A lot of fruit pulp choked into her nasal cavity, causing continuous sneezing. The loud noise interrupted Tao Yu's lecture. Tao Yu turned around in confusion. He found that everyone's gaze in the room was not on him. He looked at the several beautiful women beside him again. Someone pitted Blue Autumn Yun and patted her shoulder. Someone hurriedly helped him by handing him a glass of water. There was also someone carefully wiping the stains off his body. What is this cultivation? This is enjoying life. Tao Yu felt a sourness in his mouth and angrily slammed the textbook on the desk. What the heck are you guys doing? Moon Han in front turned around and sat up straight, looking at Blue Autumn Yun with confusion, not understanding why sharing cookies would make them burst out laughing. And what did their looks mean as they glanced at him? The next second, she quietly took out a floral handkerchief with a bear pattern, very girlish. Clearly, it was embroidered in a girl's boudoir style. Her innocent expression seemed to be asking if she should help you wipe it off. Elegant Ling and Aurelia Luo glanced at Moon Han, who had not yet exploded. They just kept a gentle smile and looked at Blue Autumn Yun, seemingly saying, "What are you looking at? Go on." Little senior sister Ariel Mu enjoys watching the excitement and is not afraid of trouble. She widened her eyes, looking forward to seeing how Blue Autumn Yun would choose in the end. Blue Autumn Yun's eyes widened. Sister, are you trying to harm me? Handkerchiefs with this kind of embroidery are usually regarded as tokens of love and given to lovers as keepsakes. Why don't you use this to wipe for me? Blue Autumn Yun ignored him. Moon Han personally got up to help wipe the side of his face. Gentle like a big sister taking care of her little brother. The sound of a broken heart filled the entire First Cloud Pavilion cultivation sect, the #1 beauty on the beauty list. Almost everyone's goddess. She actually helped him wipe his cheeks herself, using a handkerchief that was personally embroidered. What a jerk! Blue Autumn Yun's mind quickly flashed with the word danger. He quickly glanced at the reactions of the two wives out of the corner of his eye. Then, he quickly avoided Moon Han's inner wailing like all the other disciples. Big sister, this is the third time we've met. Why are you so enthusiastic about passing me biscuits? What do you mean by taking care of me like this? No, this is not taking care. This is murder. What kind of grudge is this? Isn't it just because I didn't satisfy you last time? I'll make it up to you when I have the chance. Can you hold on for a few more minutes? Blue Autumn Yun's brain is spinning rapidly, using all of his lifelong brain power, and suddenly a spark of inspiration. He looked gently at Elegant Ling and said, "Little Elegant, for some reason, the oranges passing through your hands are unusually sweet. The sweetness is so overwhelming that I can't bear to swallow. I just want to savor this brief and sweet moment. You won't blame me, will you?" Elegant Ling's anger subsided, and she was somewhat in a daze. This fool said such cheesy words to himself for the first time. She blushed shyly and lowered her head. What nonsense is the fool talking about with so many people watching? Blue Autumn Yun patted Elegant Ling on the head. He then looked at Aurelia Luo, the first senior sister. Before I didn't know what happiness was. Now I know. Happiness is when someone is willing to make dessert by hand and feed it to you personally. I'm too happy to even chew. It's all your fault for making me so happy. Now my mind is full of your yes sound just now. Aurelia Luo's body trembled slightly. She apologized in a low voice. I will also feed you from now on, junior brother. Please don't look at me first. Finally, Blue Autumn Yun looked at Moon Han with a pleading expression and said, Thank you, there's no need. I have little Elegant and senior sister taking care of me, so I won't trouble you. After hearing Blue Autumn Yun's nonsense, several people, Elegant Ling and Aurelia Luo, are in a cheerful mood. They took out handkerchiefs and continued to help wipe off the sprayed fruit pulp and other items. Ariel Mu couldn't help but sigh. Little Autumn is indeed clever.